I want to continue talking about this because this is, I've been going around with my new act around the country, and my act is called Nation. I don't know if you can say that.
We said pussy galore.
That's right, same thing. Because I really believe, and I think you're a good ally for this, that this country is in trouble because men have given up the debate. Whatever women say, men just nod along. We don't know how to fight back. We don't know how to stick up for ourselves. When women say things like, we're more spiritually evolved, we just go, yeah, I guess that's right.
And, you know what?
And there's no evidence, and there's no reason to believe that's true.
And you know what's much easier, that last segment when we were just nodding along, didn't you think? It was less work, less stress. That's why we die before they do, because we get too worked up.
It wasn't meant to be a
spiritual thing. Roll the tape back.
But it is a contentious statement. How could it not be a contentious statement for you to say to me, I am more spiritually evolved than you just because I say so?
No,
just nod. Just agree. No, just agree. That's why we get these heart attacks. We get all this
exactly.
Yeah, that's why.
No, that's why we die. They live to 85, 90 years old. It was a beautiful thing what she said. It was
just funny when, men are, hassled by women and so forth, but when it's little boys who are the target of this kind of hostility and animosity, then it's very serious. And what I found is that attitude of sort of belittling men, putting them down, that's carried now into the classroom. And you talk to almost any parent who has a boy in school, and being a boy is now considered like a pathology, a disorder, something he needs to recover from. There's intolerance of their high-spiritedness.
Yeah, I mean, if only we would pay attention to all those school shootings done by all those girls, all those girl school shooters, all those girl serial killers. Do
you think that shooting at schools is typical boy behavior?
Let me ask you this. Ask anyone in the audience. Ask anyone in the audience here who they think, if they're afraid that somebody's going to break into their house tonight. First image that comes into your head, is it a woman? Is a woman going to come in your house and harm you? No one is afraid of a woman. Nobody buys a gun to have in their house because a woman is going to break into their house.
Right, but there's a lot of houses.
They're afraid of us for good reason, because we do it.
Yeah, and a lot of times the guy who breaks into the house is because some woman at his house is saying, get some money for us. You just do it.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah. Oh, please. Right, there's no such thing as Lady Macbeth. There's no women behind men making them go out and do it because they wouldn't do it themselves.
Some woman's going out there and say, go out and rob the 7-Eleven right now or I'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Oh. What neighborhood do you live in?
Here's where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. It's absolutely true, no discussion. The majority of violent felons are males, but the majority of males are not violent felons, okay? You have to follow that logic. The majority of little boys are not predators, they're not proto-harassers and aggressors, and yet increasingly they're treated that way in the classroom. And there are theories that are coming out of Harvard School of Education that little boys need to be transformed and re-socialized towards femininity, and I find that's rather hostile and intolerant.
Right, it's just that our point of view, and you're right, men are more aggressive. We are, of course we are. That is our nature. That is our biology.
And good things come from that. You see,
yes.
Too many feminists look at the serial killers and the mass murderers. They don't look at the creativity. They don't see what Camille Paglia is my favorite dissident feminist, and she said that masculinity is the most creative cultural force in history. She said she goes by across a bridge and she thinks men
I understand identity, but we're being quite separatist and even feminine and masculine. I mean, let's go back to Jung's anima animus. Let's embrace what we Jung's anima and animus theory and embrace both. I mean, I think
that
it's quite
Carl Jung.
Yes.
What is that theory? Because I forgot
that we each inherently have.
I was on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot.
Yes.
Carl Jung, yes.
I think that to me, we're being very separatist in using these labels. And
masculinity and femininity?
Well, what is that theory?
And, well, putting them in such stereotypical nature.
I mean, I don't mean to do that. I think 20%, as many as 20% of kids will defy a stereotype, and everyone here in some way will defy it. But overall, there are boys, there are girls, and they do embody stereotypes.
When you say the majority of men are not violent, even though the majority of violent things that happen are caused by men, I mean, it's like saying, well, the majority of sharks don't, eat humans. But if you had a choice, if there was a pool outside right now and there's two pools, there's a shark in one and there's a minnow in the other, which one are you going to go in?
Yeah, but let me
go in the one with a minnow
yes.
who's having a spirituality.
But that's a good example because But again,
even though most sharks
I'm glad you brought that up as an analogy because yes, it was an analogy because no shark would really ever attack a human except for other circumstances. We do too much fishing, and that's why they come close to the coastal waters and eat people. They don't want to eat people.
All those female fishermen are doing all that extra fishing, ruining the oceans. It's the men ruining the oceans. Name a woman who's ruined the ocean.
But women are eating the fish, too. You know what?
Michael, what happened? I mean, how did you become so disparaging of your sex? You have to have a little more
I'm not disparaging. I want to live as long as you. I want to sit here and agree with you. I'm trying to calm down and just kind of accept your position that feminism has ruined the world, not men.
Please. I'm a feminist. I believe in equity and basic fairness, and I became a feminist in the 70s because I didn't like male chauvinism, but it's the new millennium, and now there's a lot of chauvinism on the other side, by women to men. And men can handle it, little boys cannot, and that's what I'm talking about.
I got to take another commercial. We'll be back.
Join us tomorrow, and our guest will be actor and recording artist David Cassidy, syndicated columnist Ariana Huffington, host of Uncabaret Beth Lapidus, and author Tony Perkins.
A warning to all you computer pranksters out there. In the UK, a teenage hacker got sentenced to psychiatric treatment. He was using, get this, Bill Gates' credit card information to send Bill Gates Viagra. Gates had no comment on this, but he did change the name of the company today to Micro Hard. Okay, we were talking about women and feminism, and this is the whole thing. Women, I'm contending here that they want to be protected. They don't want to kick ass.
Who the hell doesn't want to be protected?
I was just going to say the exact
But we have.
I mean, it's
But we don't have the option. We have to do the protecting.
No, you don't. Everybody should protect everybody, and that's the way it should be.
What does that mean? Who wouldn't applaud that? What does it mean, though?
That means when you're freaking out and you wake up in the middle of the night from a bad dream and it's in the sweats and there's somebody there with you that you can turn to that person and go, I'm freaking out. I need your protection. I need your love. It doesn't always have to be on a physical level.
But sometimes it is on a physical level.
Well, we've covered that. It's enough already. It's like we've covered it. We're here. We're responsible as human beings to love one another and protect each other from the negativity and the pain and all the and it's enough of this.
Some of us get more of that onus than others. You know, the military, for example. I mean, I know we have to feminize the military, but when it really comes down to it, we want someone who's going to do the dirty work for us. We want the military to be prepared, but we don't want them to, like, bomb any island so that they know how to do it when the time comes. You know, that would be awful if we actually let the military train because, you know, God forbid, it might upset someone's vacation plans.
Well, it's a scandal that our military increasingly is being challenged legally in every way, and there's no way in which they can practice before they go into combat. So we're sending servicemen
last time they went into combat in Iraq, they were barely there. They were in planes, you know, they were controlled by machines. I mean,
last time I was in Kosovo,
and people preparing for war is such a crock of crap.
Yeah,
people don't know how to shoot guns.
You'd be
pick up a
speaking
gun
German now if someone didn't do that for you.
It was a different time. We weren't under the technological, you know.
What's the threat right now? Why are we having to bomb in order? Who are we protecting ourselves? Who's going to invade us?
Shouldn't we be ready in case?
Well, ready's one thing, but spending the billions that we continue to spend when these schools here, like in Los Angeles, are falling down. The kids are reading textbooks from the 1970s. Exactly. You know, it's just that's what the crock of crap is.
I have to take another commercial. We'll be right back. All right, there's the book, The War Against Boys. Read that one, you damn dirty ape. Tomorrow, David Cassidy, Ariana Huffington, Beth Lapidus, and Tony Perkins.